Hi all, I thought I'd do you a little video of our outdoor area and then I can show you each area and how I envisage us using it. So I'll start in our little corner where we can get ready for, not us, the children, can get ready for using the mud and texture kitchen. So we've got some chairs, so encouraging them to sit on with wellies, and all wellies should be appropriate size for all of our children. They obviously can bring their own in if they want to and place them there. Aprons for mud kitchen and water are both there. Please encourage them to put their shoes onto the welly rack rather than left on the floor. Right, so that is our little changing area. So here we've got our stage. We've got 2 pallets from the Sandman and we put a small PE mat on there. The big one was too overhanging. I'm going to get some organza curtains here, and then I've placed the 2 benches that have been around our outdoor area that are a little bit wobbly, I think, for sitting on and standing on. So I place them together, and I thought that would be a nice place that we can lay out any instruments that we would want to encourage the children to use. Obviously, the box is there for self-selection, but that's an option. Got chairs here so they can lay them out and watch each other perform, and we will do our best to get the CD player out with a range of music as often as possible. If you want it, come and grab it. It's always there. We've got our whiteboard with whiteboard pens and rubbers, both here. Everything in this outdoor area, most things have not been labelled. Lots of things have been. So that's something we'll sort out. So all of these things will have labels. Please, can we teach and remind and model how to put the whiteboard pens back into their place and just use the whiteboard pens on these boards, not felt tips. I think there is a spare lid in this pot, so please make sure they've always got lids at the end of each day and they go back to there, please. So that can be used for any role play they do in relation to the stage or music making. Brilliant. So that's that little area. Here we've got so an area that's kind of in transition at the moment. We eventually want this to be shelving, but we've got a table at present. Couldn't get any caddies yet, but we're on that this week. So I've got temporary caddies with clipboards, paper, pencils, felts, and a pair of scissors in each. This one has a pair of left-handed scissors. So they can be taken to any area of role play, whether it's den building and they need a sign, whether it's a shopping lists, whatever they need to use mark making for, where we can encourage them to do so. We've always got it here. We've also got other resources for outdoors, so magnifying glasses for bugs. We've got some tweezers. We've got any bug collecting without lids, because obviously we want the bugs to go back where they belong after. I've got an ice cube tray, which, a little bug there. So we can, I thought that would encourage some good maths in terms of counting and how many bugs we've got. So any little pots you find, they can go here. Pegs here. We've got pegs down in the large scale deconstructed role play, loose parts play for dens. These are primarily for up this end, for any capes that they make out of the material we've got. We've got timers, which have been used quite well in our class the last week, encouraging turn taking. I'll make sure all of these are labelled with how many need to go back in the pot. Tape, pens, extra pens and pencils. I've got a meter stick, and I also want to get a tape measure and some measuring tapes, rubber, plasticky ones. They'll be great for builder role play. And other things as well that you need to measure with, everyday things. I've put the kneeling mats under here so we know where to get them if we need them, or the children want to use them in their play, but they're there. I thought they were quite good for us if we're needing to get down low on the floor. That helps our little knees out. Roll of paper, extra paper here and an extra clipboard, and then all of these have got pencils, crayons and additional paper in there. All of that will be labelled. So this is also another area that is kind of not temporary. We want to keep self-selection, but we need to think about the best way for us to manage storing it. So at the minute I've got a piece of tarpaulin over here because I haven't got a lid for the top box. So here is role play that they can use in our house, which at the moment is a blank canvas ready for them to bring whatever role play they wish. So we won't be setting up babies or tea parties. That's their job. They're the books and the cushions for our garden area. So we've got a box of tea party type things, kitchen role play, home corner role play, a selection, not loads, a nice selection. We've got a selection again of babies, 4 babies in there with clothes and blankets and some equipment. Down the bottom we've got some material for capes. We've got builders hats, builders clothes, police, firefighters type role play, and also some firefighter hats with sheets of material for capes. So a range. So if they want to be superheroes, they can get their cape, they can use a peg, they could go and make a mask inside on our own self-selection craft areas. So that's our concept. Over here we've got food in here, and in here we've got tills type thing, telephones, shopping baskets, so all to be used and self-selected and returned hereafter. I'll cover that up after. So that's that little area. We'll find some better shelving soon. Over here we've got the large-scale construction. So at the moment we've got the large-scale polydron, we've got the bricks, we've got the, what's that called again? Forgot. Train track. Oh, goodness me. The Mega Blocks, that's right. So we've got 2 mats at the moment that can be used, and that is ready for them to... So we don't need to put things out. If they want to use it there, they can. If they want to use it on the floor, that's their choice. If we notice children aren't using one particular resource, we can then transfer and rotate from the shed. We've also got, I think you've got the foam bricks as well, haven't you, Lisa? So that they can come back whenever you're ready. So mark making related to that with pens and rubbers, and same again, that can be used either mark making for builders and plans, or we can go and get them from our caddies. So that's that up that end. So we've got our lovely physical area for self-selection of resources and all the types of things we've got in here. If I scan. So I didn't know whether these might need unhooking at the bottom, so they hang a little bit more, but the children might be able to see them fine. So you can sort of see what we've got there in each of those. Fabulous. And there. And we've got quite a lot of balls. I've taken some back to the PE cupboard, but these are all fine, but we might need a better storage for the balls, the bigger balls. Hoops, cones, hurdles, our ribbon. So again, Lisa and I thought that the ribbon that we buy just get tangled quite easily. So this is fantastic for making streamers on a windy day. Grab some scissors from we know where we can get them from, and they can make their own streamers. We've got all of those resources, again, physical things that we can use in this space. We need to be mindful about bikes and appropriateness of those, whether they are too easy for reception or ideal for nursery. And if nursery want to use it at a particular time that reception aren't using, feel free to get them out. But for ours, obviously the more challengeable ones are better. But we'll have a discussion about if and when we choose wheeled toys. Brilliant. We have a little addition based on our training that we received and some videos I've been looking at about children, sensory-seeking children, and a tyre swing. We have got a rope swing that's been added by my dad with some rope, and for safety, so it doesn't wind up. We've got a piece of hose pipe, and that's strong enough to hold an adult. But when we don't need it using, or we need to remove it, or it's home time, goodness me, it's running away from me. It's hard to do this one-handed. We can hook it up there on the hook. Just get on my tiptoes. All right, can you see that? Hang on. Lasso it up. Oh, goodness me. I'm too short for this. Hang on, it's really hard one-handed. There we go. So we can hang it up. So obviously we would have a mat under there. We can use one of the construction mats, or we can get another one available for underneath, and that can be chosen when we use that. I would say when there's lots of children out here, that wouldn't be the appropriate time, but we can make those decisions together. Brilliant. Let me continue on. So there's our physical area, and we've obviously got our chalk and rubbers for us to use for any scoring. Children won't necessarily know how to use some of these equipment, so there's skills that we can teach, but also teaching them team games that we can play together, and scoring on there will be something that we can model lots that hopefully they'll be able to do eventually on their own. So sand area's been sorted out by Dave and Michelle on Friday. the edges have been chopped. I've filled it all up, covered it in the tarpaulin. We've got our resources here, which I'll pop in the cupboard, but we can eventually maybe get a tarpaulin cover for those with some bungee ropes. We've got a piece of wood at the back, what I thought might be nice for some hooks, or images of different maybe sandcastles or buildings that they could have a go at creating themselves. We've got our sweeping brushes and our hooks, and all of these, again, I will get labelled. These labels are obviously fantastic, so thank you guys for doing those. So over in the corner here, we've got our deconstructed role play, loose parts role play, and we've got crates, different sizes. We've got large tarpaulin, our little house to use as an anchor. Dad's put in a couple of hooks for me, one here and one here, that link up to the eyes on there to make a fabulous shelter. We've got all our loose parts. We've got drapes. I'll put all of this away in a moment and cover it with the tarpaulin. Boxes. And then in here we've got rope, pegs, large pegs, kneeling mats for us, and or what they want to use them for, maybe flooring or whatever they want to use it for. And another sheet of tarpaulin. So that's all ready. Cable drums, different sizes. But yeah, I can get that all covered over. So that's a brilliant area now. Lots more space since the planter's been moved. Great, and finally up here, we've got our little garden area, which has opened up a bit, and I've given it a bit of a jet wash. I need to put those pictures back up. Jem and Steve have made a little bug hotel. Jem, I've added a brick in there and a little rabbit. Got Stickman in the corner, and lovely wellies. Thank you, Margaret, and the children that did those. Watering cans are kept here. I didn't realise we had so many. It's fantastic. I will get a label there so the children know where to bring these back and use them appropriately in the appropriate place. So that's our little gardening area, and we're going to definitely, at the right time of year, get some things planted. We'll have to do some bulbs soon. So yeah, fantastic. Our little house. So water area, I brought the blue stands and the pipe up for them to use. We've got our water self-selection trolley with all the labels. I bought some new funnels. There's a tough spot and stand there available if anybody needs it. I've got tarpaulin there ready to pull down for night time, and all of the buckets so the children can know where the buckets are kept. They can use them for transporting from the tap to the sand. Eventually we'll get a water butt. We're on that one with a tap. Ready for the mud kitchen. I've given that a wash for you, Jem. We've got topsoil coming on Monday because compost isn't ideal for making mud pies, so topsoil should be perfect. And our different textures, so we've got shells and some flowers that are nearly on their way out. So again, if you've got any of these items at home from the weekend that you want to bring in and enhance the mud kitchen, then please do so. So there we are. Hope that's helpful for you guys. Did I say I'm going to get some curtains there? I can't remember, but I am. It's looking fabulous. Cheers. Bye.